Hello? Hi.
Before we get into the review video, I have exciting news. Recently, I uploaded not one, but 2 videos to my main channel, Lord Pixel. They're both really funny, and I'm happy with how they turned out. Plus, they both have my face in them. If you want to check them out after this video, you can using the first link in the description below. Make sure to subscribe while you're there, and enjoy the video. The Striker. What's not to love? Well, a few things. But first, let's start off with the design. I really like how this car looks. It looks really epic and apocalyptical. Is that a word? I don't think that's a word. I wrote that down in the script. I don't think that's an actual. But it catches that vibe of this is one of the many vehicles abandoned in the apocalypse that's been upgraded so that you can survive, kind of thing. Yeah, I like the vibes that this car has to it. It has some great details like the gas canister on the side, the nitro boosters, there's spikes everywhere, the shades on the front, window pane, freaking, I forgot what it's called. The windshield. It has like shades on the windshield to like armor it up a little bit more. The lights on the front and the back look really neat as well. There's just so many little details. Plus just the overall feel of the car is really nice. The custom texture is really great. A little low quality compared to some other textures, but it's passable. And as you saw with the intro, the text kind of gave me a cool idea for the edit. I do think the texture matches this car really well. As for customization, there's nothing you wouldn't expect here, nothing out of the ordinary, but still looks great on the car. I really like how the thicker tires look on these apocalyptic-like vehicles. There's lots of great garage items that kind of add to the feel that this car already has. My one complaint is that this car is a little small. If you look at me sitting in it here, my head very much sticks through the windshield, and it's not because of my TV head either. My TV head is bigger than the average Robloxian's head, but not by much. So if you put any head accessories on your avatar, which most people do, then it's gonna stick through this car quite a bit, more than usual. Not a massive issue, but it is a little strange that this model is so small. But I can move past that because the car looks and sounds great. Speaking of sounds, I forgot to mention, I'm pretty sure this has a custom engine sound. Take a listen. If that's not custom, scream at me in the comment section. Moving on to stats. I'm gonna be completely honest. I'm kinda underwhelmed. For a seasonal car, this is interesting. I think the thing that catches me off guard the most is this car's speed. This is the 3rd slowest seasonal car. The only 2 slower than it being the Frost Crawler, which is a 6-seater that can tow pretty much anything, and the Tiny Toy, which was in a pass with a whole other car and is a tiny toy that's not even really meant to be used seriously. I mean, according to the Jailbreak wiki, this thing is slower than the Goliath, which is kind of insane to me. Obviously, the Goliath has slower acceleration, but it's just odd that the 11-seater has a higher top speed than the 3-seater. So that's just kind of odd to me. Hopefully this car gets a speed buff at some point, because currently it seems very, very useless to have a top speed that low. In case you're wondering, the exact number is 168 miles per hour. It has pretty mid acceleration, launching, and braking, if I'm being honest. None of them stood out as particularly good, if even average. They might even be worse than the average for most vehicles, which again, just really odd to me. And of course, the acceleration doesn't have to be amazing, but when you compare that with the car's top speed, it's just a little, again, odd. I think I just don't see why this car doesn't have that great of stats compared to some other seasonal cars. If we're trying to lower the standard for seasonal cars, then I can get behind that, because some of the seasonal cars, in my opinion, are way too good for how easy they are to get. Granted, some of them were harder to get than others, but with the standard we've already set for 19 seasons prior to this, it just feels odd that they would try to nerf seasonal cars now. So currently, this car just seems really not great. Either way, its climbing and off-roading is pretty not good either. I mean, off-roading is as good as any car. You can go over small hills, but when you try to climb a steep hill, you're out of luck. Nothing you can do. I got stuck once as well. Not even sure how that happened. The turning is a little below average, I think, so it's okay. But its defense is pretty good. It has 125 HP, and you take less damage while sitting inside of it. So that's the one thing I think it does best. And honestly, I'd be really happy if all the stats were as they are right now, if the car had like a lot of health, or you just didn't take a lot of damage when you were inside of it, because it would make sense. It would make sense for the apocalyptic theme that maybe the car doesn't run too well, but you're like super healthy inside. You're super tanky. You don't take a lot of damage. But currently, the defense is just slightly better than most cars. In conclusion, the Striker is, I mean, it's alright. Like I said earlier, I'm a little underwhelmed with this car's stats, but in terms of design and the way it looks, I don't think there was a better pick than this one. The only car that could have maybe won my vote instead of this for the winner would have been the Hammerhead. But we got that anyway, so don't worry, you'll be getting a review video on that soon enough, maybe. So Season 20 overall is a pretty good season, but from an objective point of view, I don't think this car is anything special by any means. That being said, shout out to Yamels for giving me the text to use in the intro, and the car they've designed is incredible, and the design is amazing. There's no hate to the creator of the car. I'm just a little baffled by the stat choice, but that's just me. That's just my opinion. If you have a different opinion, feel free to let me know in the comments down below, and I will see you next time. Goodbye!